When my little doggy comes out to play, the curtain goes back, and I mean, it's all just there truthfully like that, man. It's almost like, broadcasting naked on the radio. Well, I gotta tell you, Oakie's naked underneath that hair of his, and guess what? Underneath these threads I'm wearing, I'm a naked person too. How about you? I thought so. See, so don't be holding it against me if I just bear it all, okay? It can't be helped. That's how we help each other along the way. If you got anything in reserve, guess what? It ain't working, baby. You got to put it all out there. You got to lay it all out on the line. And what you get is just what our darling Maureen McGovern just explained to us there. We could have it all again. All you got to do is remember the way back when we did have it all, because that's where Spring Creek is. That's where the blossoming flower of life begins its blossoming. That's where the flow of life begins its flow into creation. That's where you and I begin, rock and roll. I'm rock, you're roll, I'm rock. Or just go the other way around. I'm roll, you're rock. Well, whatever, man. It's all rock and roll, right? And roll and rocking too, man. Really rocking in your heart today, isn't it? I can feel it, man. All over this earth, I can feel hearts surrendering to the love. Finally, letting down those barriers and guards we put around it, man. Holy guacamole. I will never be hurt again. Well, of course you won't, man, because there ain't no such thing as hurting once you wise up. Nobody can hurt you because you don't have all these grand expectations. You already know what's going on, man. See, this old way, man, we come here and we just dumb ourselves down to almost next to nothing, and we start grappling around as we go along as couples and stuff like that, But it never, it's more like a arm wrestling match than anything, I mean, come on, guys. There's real love in this life. There's real life in this life. But we couldn't help it. See, we didn't know any better. We were just totally ass dumb. We agreed to it, man. But, in the process, well, we're working out a lot of energies for the universe. We are the sweetheart, darling little children of the universe, and they just show it to us each and every day in just about every way. I mean, just look out your window right now today and see the beauty that stands before you, man. Maybe it's just a smoky little pattern formed up on the brick wall across the alley there, but take a look at what it's portraying, man. It changed overnight. What does it look like now? But maybe a rising sun or something? Or is that an angel in the middle of what is that? Well, that's Mother Mary J coming your way to set you free, babies, And that's nature's way of telling you, well, just relax, dude. Do that. Here it comes, man. Now, you're probably out there in the boondocks where the clouds just told you the same thing, right? Right. See, so whatever, man, it all comes through real clear when you're tuned into it, dear. And that's why you tune in here at Spring Creek with Grandpa Coyote, I'm no big authority. My dog is, but I'm not. I'm, just a little pipsqueak of a universal DJ, man. But, I know how to fly this plane. I know how to drive this truck. I can ride this motorcycle. I can play this rock and roll. And I can do it in just the right way. Because you know what? I'm directed by your heart and soul. It's kind of like I'm the pilot on the spaceship, love, here, But guess what? You're the pilot, too, because it's your heart directing me. And it's your heart directing you, too. See, so that heart there is at the center of all of us, setting us free. Your heart, baby. Yeah, yours. Not mine, yours. Because I can't own it, okay? My heart's free, man. It's not in slavery anymore. So now it's yours, okay? The same heart in each and every one. Man alive, I'll tell you. And this is when we come out to play, when we finally realize that, when we finally feel that. Then you've got unity and humanity such as you have never seen before. And baby, this life has come back to life. And it'll always be rock and roll from that point onward. That's what we're looking for right now. When we begin to live the multidimensional. Now, what was Maureen expressing in the multidimensional by, telling her lover we could have it all if we just, get it on. And babies, what is she telling us in the multidimensional way? What do you say? Come on. I want to hear from you today, okay? All right, I won't push it. But anyway, what she's trying to say, in my humble little view, baby, is that remember how good we had it. Not just Atlantis, not just Mu or Lemuria, not just, whatever it was until right back in those beginning times. when we step down from the clouds and begin to live in the high places on this earth. Way up on the tall mountains, we had like castles and palaces and stuff. But we didn't see them as such. They were just accommodating structures for our presence. There was no such thing as weather. There was no such thing as sunshine. The brightness came from within. We all were bodies of light. Yet we had a certain element of density we had added to ourselves that made us distinctly of the earth, of the blue star. The earth, yeah, she is the blue star. You always thought it was the sun or some other magic little thing going to appear like, Solomon's chariot or something in the sky, right? Well, the CIA will probably dig one of those up for you if you're ready for it, man. They got all them holographic projection machines. Hell, they can make you see anything in the sky they want to. They're going to make you think Jesus came back 23 years ago well, anyway. Maureen was telling us in her own sweet way, we can have it that way again. We can go right back to where we began. And what was she saying in her song? What was she saying in that multidimensional way? Just let it go. Let your heart come out and play. Trust your heart. Be this heart. See, now she was expressing it in the earth terms, 3D, in a romantic sort of way. But what was her heart really saying? She was calling the angels home. Come back to your heart, my children. See, she's the mother love in this particular instance. Come back to my heart, my children. Come fly with me. Come soar with me. As we cast ourselves across the sky in a rock and roll sort of way and share our happiness everywhere, man. And awaken and re-enlighten the whole cotton-picking universe. Because we got happy today, because we finally realized, who we are. And let go of the bullshit that's been holding us back all this time, okay? See, that's your Mother Mary J. In a metaphorical way, but in a very real one, too. You want to experience a little more of her? Stay tuned in here day after day, Monday through Friday. You'll get a nice dose of her, see? Because I'm like, well, for one, I'm like her, without braggadocio. And I'm like her papal presence here on this earth, her personal representative. Her vicar, yeah, I'm the big car, not the little one, okay? You're the Porsche and the Audi. I'm the Cadillac, okay? It's hand-built in the USA by a baby. I'm telling you, none of that General Motors shit coming through this household. Sorry, I'm just rolling around there a little bit while I'm expressing a fine little point, man. That Maureen, Mother of Love, was calling the children home to their heart. We can have it all, babies, if you just let go of what you think you got and get on with what you are. See, now, there are those in positions of power. Ooh, there's going to be some hard falls there pretty soon if we don't wise up, wake up. The whole of Washington, D.C., the rats are starting to bail, man, because they know their day is done, man. All of them. And it ain't just D.C., it's all across, the face of the earth, but especially here in the USA and Canada, a little bit down in Mexico, but mostly up there Canada and here in the USA, man. There's a whole bunch of skullduggery been going on, a whole lot of brainwashing, mind control, thought control, behavior control, social engineering. Oh my goodness. It started back in my days when I was just a little kid. I remember seeing that, I went from they transferred me when I was just like first grade to second grade, transferred me from a old school to a new school. And oh my goodness, I got a dose of social engineering such as you'd never seen before. Now I know the kids around me didn't quite think that way, but I did. I saw it that way. And I resisted, babies. Well, of course, what else could you do? So me and this Nazi principal became personal buddies, friends, man, I could piss him off just looking at him, man. I could get this guy face red and steam coming out from under his collar, just like in the cartoons, man, because I didn't believe in social engineering. And we sure got a walloping dose of it since then. Back then it was pretty simple, and they were just trying to, get you to regulate yourself by the tick tock clock, and then, move around according to the bells, just like the pigeons do. When they want to get fed, the bell goes off, they go get it. It's that kind of thing. Line up and walk down this line in the hallway, and then 2 by 2, 1 by 1, don't you run, etc., etc., etc. It's all in the name of fun, right? A huge, gigantic baby sitting service run by a bunch of sadistic mofos that believe in social engineering, that are consciously present in the engineering of it, yet didn't even know how well they've been engineered when they were getting their degrees and all that stuff, let alone before that. I mean, even the old school. Well, I mean, what do you think school is? It's not about education. It's about training, baby. It's about getting you to roll around just right and fit right into this one little pigeonhole somebody got designed for you somewhere along the way. Not make any noises, not give the criminal elements and the criminal syndicates any notice. Just let them be. If they taking all your money, it's okay. You'll make more tomorrow, won't you? Oh, darling, this is such a sad and sorry but highly ironic little medicine show. And see, we can pull out of this. We can pull out of anything, man. And we are, but that's why DC's starting to fall apart. They got too big for their britches and stupid. They're not that they were ever brilliant, but some of the skullduggery going on here just beyond belief. And it is clever. You got to give it that. Clever as the evil cleverness can be, man, but beautifully so. I mean, stupid, just stupid. Well, they've been caught with their pants down, and the media's busy trying to distract everybody with this Russian Yahoo fable thing going on. I don't know what's going on. Look, I don't like the press any better than anybody else does. You know what I mean? But, that's BS, that story there, Putin's not that damn stupid. You know what I mean? That's the kind of shit that gives these assholes an excuse to start launching weapons at him. He's not that stupid, man. Shit. The truth is becoming known. This is all the politics is anyway, the big facade to keep us entertained, keep us out of the way while the big machine goes on in the background and does what it wants to do. And all these people are the patsies that have to take all the shit from me and you. It's been working that way for a long time. I mean, hell, back in Mark Twain's day, old Sam Clemens, who wrote, Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn and some real American classics like that, besides being one cool dude, Well, anywho, long story short, he says, if it really made any difference to vote, they wouldn't let us vote. And it's true, man, the power machine, I mean, and it was there in 1880, I mean, let alone 2017, eh? But see, it's falling apart now. It's an old machine. It's been kind of trying to run things here forever and ever, and as long as it can stay under the surface and be going along in the background, the people just stay asleep, everything's cool, But babies, the minute the people start seeing through it, well, it's done. It cannot control on the surface. It can only control through subterfuge. That's, its way. That's just what it's made of. Just like you and I have our own little specialties in this life. And some people are made to do this, and some people are made to do that. Carpenters and bakers and butchers and candlestick makers and beautiful little hippies that do all of that and then some. Etc., etc., We're all just little angels really out here on the playfields of life, And that's what we're really waking up to. And that's what's going to save the earth. And this country right along with it. Because this country's going down and going down hard. Neru's been in the background, warming up the fiddle for quite some time, And, we've got all those predictions from the way back when, and some of them have been fairly accurate to say, it's going to destroy itself one day. It'll just disappear. Well, what does that mean? Nuclears? Well, guess what? We've overruled that shit. No matter how much they rattle their sabers in this world and pretend they really got it going on, there's not another nuke going to be allowed to be set off on this planet. Not another one. Ever. See, we have our watchers, and they're not evil, and they're not, anything but our family. And they kind of watch out for us from the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, all on up a ways. Anyway, from all those dimensions, they watch into here and try to understand what's going on and keep us, from going too far. So that's part of that, because our own heart has finally, come around into a status where it's starting to reclaim itself. Same thing Maureen was telling us. We're getting it back, baby. We never really let it go. We just went on an adventure into a looping little illusion thing, kind of like a spiritual amusement park called time and space. Now you're going to understand as you continue to gather together here inside of yourself that really there is no time and space. Nothing is distant from you and no one else is either, man. You're together with all of this. It's just like, I think I've said this before, but like molecules and atoms and little elements of light coming all together to form the person we are. Well, this creation is the same way. It's formed together. You might be living in a perspective down here far away from the heart, like down in the knee or something, where you don't see it quite that way anymore because you've been away from the heart for so long you forgot you are the heart and a product thereof, and that your conscious presence is the same conscious presence as everyone else, everything else. We're all joined together in the union of the body of creation, which is a mama, in my humble opinion, with a daddy inside of her, okay? Now just relax. It don't matter what you believe. I could call it, Sam the garbage man, and it'd be cool too, man, because he's a loving dude. Get your refuse out of the way and doesn't bitch about it. Now that's okay, man. That's a rich man there that can live with himself and live with your excess too, man, and haul it out for you. I think that's pretty decent, don't you? I think that's one of the kings of the earth or queens of the earth, if it's that gender. Well, babies, we're starting to find out realities like that here, see? And that's why the old political machine's falling apart and all the criminal syndicates to go with it. And people are getting over cocaine addictions and heroin addictions and aren't going to be buying produce from the man anymore. And the spaceships are going to start falling out of the sky when there's no funding to make them fly, see? I mean, we could have it a lot of horrible ways if we wanted it, but the way we're having it is the way it is right now, and it's kind of peaceful. It's a little chaotic, but it's kind of peaceful, and it's coming in just the way it ought to be. It's rock and roll, and it's multi-dimensional, man. You see, we're just going right back. Do you remember, do you have even a shadowy memory of how it was when we lived in those high places here on this earth? The first real human occupiers of this place. We'd had representations of this human form here before that, but of course it was not consciously present. It was more like a lizard or a snake or something, just moved around according to its instinct. And now we had a conscious presence. Now we had light. And the lightness, the love, we were just barely maybe 10% earth or something, but we had that. And that 10%'s 100%, you understand? We were mixing energy and organic energy together, for perhaps the first time in forever, and making it a conscious presence. You see? Now, you're going to remember a lot of this kind of stuff. It's just part of the awakening process. You're going to see images of it. You're going to see yourself high above everything. And know that you still live there. That what you've been living in here is more of an extension of your presence into a house of dreams, a house of mirrors. It just sucks you right in through all of those dimensional levels that it portrays. It took you clear back into that 32,000th place away, and you had to work your way back out. See, that's another way of describing the process we've been going through here. But in doing so, we took the energy of the whole universe and all conflict that we might have created in it, and all sense of polarity, and brought it all back together as a singular conscious presence, just in the way it's created. That's the beginning. That's the mother love. Oh, the mother and the father, they're the two sides of the same heart, but there are not sides to this heart. Notice, it's present together. Only we could see it as divided because we're stupid sometimes. But you look at a heart, sure, you see two sides. There's a hump on this side and a hump on that side. Sure. But it's all joined in the root of the heart. I mean, it all rises. It's all one singular piece, just like our body is one singular piece, one singular presence. Yet, inside of this person and inside of this heart is the whole of creation and all the experience in it. We're born that way. We're complete when we're first born as human babies, even though it might be rough as hell. Itself, we're complete. We're gathered in all of that. And little by little we lose that, but at least we have it for a moment or two in this time, before we surrender ourselves to the undivine and step away from truth and start trying to accommodate people in this earth rather than accommodate ourselves. As a child, you have no choice but to go along with the culture you're born into. Little by little, you might learn to resist if you don't like it, or you just accept it, swallow it, love it, or leave it, etc. You know what I mean? It's been this way for a long time. But see, we're not, because we can go through these transitional phases here today inside of ourselves in this funny little coyote sort of way. Well then, maybe the child won't have to give it up anymore. Maybe they'll be born fully consciously present and keep it and grow from there. See, instead of accommodating the earth accommodates the heart that it's made of. The magic of the love, the purity of the desire to create. Now I call that orgasmic, and it is, but in a very soft, humble, real feeling sort of way. Like a low rumble in the earth, but it's not an earthquake. It's just a little bass tone in the harmony of life that gets the rest of the orchestra going. The guy with the bongos at the back of everything, beating on them and starting to set a little rhythm, a little pattern, getting a little melody going on in that drum beat sort of way. And the big kettle drum joins in, and then the kit dies. Well, gee whiz. And the next thing you know, you got the symphony of life in full display, man. Coming through each and every heart that lives here right now, today. And it might come through in just a simple, humble little tune like Mr. Donovan's got to play right here now on Spring Creek. Rockin' little radio show. Help you get it on, don't you know? Only and exclusively on the Hazy Radio Network, where you turn to when you want to get it clear. Angelic presence is hiding out everywhere in this reality, don't you see? See, so along with the uncolorful comes the revelation of the colorful aspect of things, kind of counterbalance things out a little bit, you know? So don't focus too much on that negative flow there in Washington, D.C. and all the chicanery going on back there on the eastern seaboard, as they call it. Man, we're kind of tired of all that machinations. They've been pushing us around since goodness knows when. But babies, guess what? We ain't giving in no more, man. We've been born just to even that score, and baby, we're doing it right now. And what are you help up like Grandpaw? Yeah, right, we are, man. You see, it started long time ago here in the 3D, man. 'Cause time in the 3D is kind of stretched out linearly. Something like that anyway, out in the big old long line, right? So you live it, oh my God, the clock, etc., Century you got, maybe, if you're lucky and make it all that way. Usually it's about a half a century, wouldn't you say? That's about what the average is, I'd say. It ain't no 80, it's more like 50, if they're honest about it. A lot of people still dying young all over this planet, man. But guess what? It's a sacrifice to come in here. But people willingly line up at the door. This is one of the funnest little amusement parks ever created. Now, what hell am I talking about? The 3D, man. As spiritual presences, divine archangels that we must be, of course. What else would humanity be made of? Stardust and archangels and earth and earth and earth and earth and mama. See, you feel that? You feel that deep cry for the mama, for the mother, for the heart of love to return to you and to be you. You feel that? See, that's what this journey is all about. To put us through the gritty shit of 3D and polarity and duplicity and duality and all the rest of the chicanery that goes with it, don't you see? And to bring us back to a point where we can be free in such an ugly place and experience paradise, because finally we realize we are the heart of creation. And we don't have to put up with this shit for 5 frickin' seconds, not let alone one, man. This moment, it's all undone. Because inside of us, we become the one, the fountain of love, the flow of life coming from us and expanded into creation in every direction. From our center heart of gold, right there in the center of our chest, baby. Don't worry about the rest. It's all taken care of, man. It all goes with that golden flow to becomes the rainbow, don't you know? And it started, so long ago, man. Even in Roman times, there was people around pushing energies a little bit this way and a little bit that way. You know, you go back a little further, man, there were some pretty enlightened times, you know. I'm not talking about Babylonia. That was kind of a, you know, thing that just won't go away. It's like one of them carbuncles you get on the side of your foot or something, and you cut it away, and you burn it away, and you carve it away, and all of that good stuff. And guess what? It's still there today, right? Well, it's because you ain't dealt with it lovingly. You know, you've been kind of opposing it and trying to kill it off. Well, it's trying to kill off yourself, man. A part of yourself, anyway. See, so don't do that no more, okay? You know, let's instead embrace it, help it feel the love, the life at the center presence of your being, so there will not be this feeling of separation, this divided feeling anymore, like you're possessed of, you know, some nasty thing beyond yourself or something, that you're that divided. Or maybe you're one of those with like 17, 18 personalities, man, you know, because you've been so fractured in this 3D. Now's the time to come back and see there's only one of you. Of course, there's one in everything else. That's why you can take on just about anybody's identity if you want to. But it's not necessary. And, you know, others might appreciate you for it, but it's not a necessary walk. You know, just coming into this life, accepting the dumb presence that you have to begin from, selling yourself out completely as a little baby child into a world as sick as you know what, and twice as wild smelling, see. But in that presence is the presence of paradise. It's that simple baby love at the center heart of all. It never goes away. That only wants to be that happy forever. So guess what? It is.